Throughout the years, there have been hundreds of game-tying or game-winning buzzer beaters, and some of those were just a fingertip away from either not counting or counting. Now, we have the luxury of instant replay, so even baskets that are made as the clock expires can be reviewed to see if the ball left the player's hand in time. The thing is, the NBA didn't implement the instant replay until the 2002 to 2003 season, which means that in the entirety of league history leading up to that season, buzzer beaters were completely hinged upon the real-time judgment calls of the referees. And unfortunately, they didn't always get it right. In this video, I'm presenting 5 games where the referees had to make that judgment call and screwed it up. On January 15, 2001, the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers were in a regular season matchup with the lowly Vancouver Grizzlies. Shaq and Kobe were in their usual peak form as Shaq dominated offensively and on the boards, while Kobe put up a monstrous triple-double. The Lakers' team defense had struggled throughout the night though, which resulted in this game coming down to the final possession. The Lakers had the ball with less than 10 seconds remaining, and Vancouver was up by 1 point. Kobe finds an open Robert Horry, but he misses the shot by a mile. Notice how the clock freezes for a moment at 0.6 of a second for some unknown reason. Shaq secures the board and puts it back in, but when we checked the TV replay, it was clear that he released the shot way after time expired, even with the clock freezing for a moment. I remember watching this as a fan in real time, and even I felt like Shaq released the ball long after the buzzer, but somehow the refs missed it and counted the basket. They also called a foul on Damon Jones, which clearly occurred as the clock was expiring. Shaq proceeded to miss the meaningless free throw, and the Lakers won the game despite the fact that they shouldn't have. On April 27, 2002, it's Game 3 of the first round of the playoffs, and the series is tied at 1 game apiece between Tracy McGrady and the Orlando Magic and Baron Davis and the Charlotte Hornets. Both superstars had monstrous performances, and heading into the final possession of regulation, the game was up for grabs. 0.7 of a second is left on the clock, and Charlotte's PJ Brown is inbounding the ball. Davis loses McGrady for a moment and is able to catch and heave up a prayer that goes in, and it appears to be the game winner. But as you can see, NBA referee Bernie Fryer begins calling off the basket basically as soon as it left Davis's hand. The Hornets team is irate, and for good reason, as it was one of the worst calls in NBA history. Not only did Davis clearly get the shot off, but as you can tell from this freeze frame, the ball was high within the air with as much as 0.3 remaining. Due to this awful call, the game went to overtime. Fortunately, Charlotte still ended up winning the game, as this ended up being a major catalyst for the implementation of the instant replay starting the following season. It's November 20th, 2016, in a regular season matchup between the Toronto Raptors and the Sacramento Kings. Obviously, instant replay rules were in full effect at this point in history, but even with that being the case, I still believe the refs screwed this one up. There's only 2.4 seconds left, and Toronto needs a 3-point basket to tie the game and send it to overtime. The ball is inbounded to Terrence Ross, and it appears he clearly got the shot off in time, burying the jumper and sending it to overtime. But after further review, the refs decided to waive the basket, giving the game to Sacramento. The logic of the refs was that the clock should have started as soon as DeMarcus Cousins deflected the basketball, which would have taken more time off the clock. The thing is, sure, maybe the clock didn't start right as Cousins touched it, but as you can see on this freeze frame, Ross hasn't even touched the basketball yet and the clock has started rolling, which means that in a sense, the clock did start because of Boogie's deflection. Not only that, but when Ross released the shot, there was still 5 or 0.6 of a second left on the clock. So do we really know for sure that he didn't get the shot off in time? Again, the clock didn't start the instant Boogie touched it, but this is actually more common on buzzer beaters than you might think. For example, remember this iconic buzzer beater by Kobe Bryant to defeat Portland in 2004? Yeah, the clock didn't even start until Kobe had released the ball and the refs didn't take that one away. Bottom line, it was criminal to take this game from Toronto based on an egregious assumption by the referee. Back to the postseason now, it's the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs, and it's the deciding 5th game between the Indiana Pacers and the New Jersey Nets. With a chance to ice the game, New Jersey's Richard Jefferson missed both of his free throws, which left the door open for the tremendously clutch Reggie Miller. Reggie hit a ridiculously difficult spinning 3, keeping the Pacers' season alive. In this case, the referees counted the basket, but they shouldn't have, as the freeze frame clearly shows that the ball was still in Miller's hands as time was expiring. This shot, along with the shot Baron Davis made, both took place in the same playoff season, and it was clear then that the NBA had to do something about their lack of instant replay. It's March 5th, 2003, in a regular season matchup between the Indiana Pacers and the Los Angeles Lakers. After a hard-fought back-and-forth game with many highlights, the two teams find themselves tied at 95. The Lakers have the ball with 6.2 seconds left, and they have to take it from the backcourt. The Mamba is sprinting towards the three-point line when he's intentionally fouled by Indiana, who had a foul to give. Bryant hits the three-pointer through the contact and thinks that it's going to be a 4-point play, but the referee waved it off, and everyone, including the Lakers commentators, thinks it's a horrible call. Take a listen.
Fouled again. Kobe coming out of the backcourt. Pulls up.
That should count.
Oh, that's a terrible call.
They're waving it off, but that should count. That should count.
That is a terrible call. Kobe knew that they had a foul to give. As soon as he dribbled into the front court, he gathered himself, went in the air and shot it. That is just a horrible call.
I mean, this is continuation all the way. He stops, goes up, he gets grabbed. That is a basket. If they're going to be able to look at the replays for the shots at the end of quarters, they better start looking at things that they mess up.
I never understood the ref not counting this basket for Bryant, considering how Kobe took the shot as the foul was being committed. And of course, Kobe had every intention to shoot before the whistle because the clock was running out and he had no other choice. Fortunately for Los Angeles, Kobe wasn't the only clutch player on that Lakers squad, and flying in to save the day was Big Shot Bob, Robert Horry, who drilled this game-winning basket as time expired, which was extremely reminiscent of his iconic game-winning jumper over Sacramento in 2002. So what do you guys think? What were some other instances where the refs got a call wrong and it affected the game? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.